unlock maybe the secrets to win the rest of the season. It's also pretty fancy to put on that shelf in your headquarters. We head into the Shuriken round. Falcons against BRU.
Now, let's see though on how they are going to play this. Everyone's sticking together, and Moshi right now taking the lead. Now, this is something else. We don't see Moshi going in there up front. What we can see the Sentinel already being pulled out, and the Time Turner as well to save a little bit. And the goal is to get to that airdrop. On fire already down. Potato already down as well. But Swans is to bring down Get High and Wasana. But Buriram United manage to go for that triple for Jonah, and they grab that Shuriken round.
Yeah. And you see a hint of smile on Jonah's face as he looks at the rest of his team. It's like, hey, we're already off to a good start.
Yeah,
all with the
good start.
Yeah, High picking off on fire, and this is just straight up a bloodbath. Everyone from BRU, they managed to trade bodies. Obviously, they ended up getting the numbers advantage, and that's how they came out on top.
Now let's see though how Team Falcons will be responding to this. A little bit split up is being done right now. Brim United, Get High will be left in here with Jonah. So I love the split that's being done by Brim United right now. It's a mirror from what we're seeing. So it's great minds think alike, I would say. But with the firepower that Brim United has, it would be difficult for Team Falcons to fight back that easily. Double deagle on them, and that's what they need. A combination of both, but a pickup has been quickly done, and one skill can bring them down, and it's just one grenade. Moshi right now on a roll with that double, and only Wasana has been knocked down, but not confirmed, so they still keep their loot.
And that is already a very, very different story compared to the tale that we saw yesterday. And the expectations too, we said Moshi, he can be the clutch factor. Jonah now unlocks himself from the shackles, and he now steps up to the occasion. We also saw some of the usage of frag grenades earlier on by R7 and Loss. We saw Moshi use that earlier on. It's an investment that takes a lot of trust and and planning, but when it works out, the payoff is incredibly big. On fire did not stand a chance with Jonah just providing suppressing fire. The fireball juice lays out as well. Jonah lays out on fire on the ground, and BRU again gains the man advantage.
Wasana right now using an AWM up close and personal. Not quite sure what the ideation is. If he can pull this off, that is something else. But he goes down though. But Potato goes in for the finisher. 2v3 situation, and Kororo will still wear that eagle. And Potato managed to pick up a P90, but it's a little bit too late. The fireball jutsu will bring him down. And Kororo on a solo mission. Solo pistol mission might not work this time around.
Lovely stuff from the side of BRU. Kororo only get a knock on the Get High, but most of the weapons will go into the next round regardless for Buriram United. Already at the halfway point of this Purgatory map. And once more, it's BRU finding very good positions. Right? We said that Falcons wanted to play fast, and we were thinking how BRU is going to stop it. First of all, the DJ Alok isn't really working out the way that Falcons wanted it to. Not able to extend the fight long enough because most of the shots that came through from BRU results in a knockdown. And second of all, it's just the suppressive fire from Jonah and Get High that makes it incredibly tough for Falcons to just run straight at Buriram United.
It is expected right now, especially with Get High getting used to using Zane, and then that Time Turner being pulled out. It was Wasana in the perfect timing. But Wasana right now getting a little bit too close and on fire, heading for the airdrop, and Wasana will be pushed out, but this doesn't go down that quickly, and Get High will try to protect him. On fire will be taken out with a P90, and Wasana almost losing out on HP, but this is the battle that we are looking for. Limited 7 will be left alone. Get High will need to go for the pickup. Otherwise, it will be a win for Team Falcons.
A huge shot from Limit. Not able to confirm it quick enough. He was too scared for a swing, and now Limit's gonna fight Get High. Wasana at the same time, and that is undoing a triple. Going over to Get High. that you just highlighted, getting used to the Zane. Not just that, puts himself in the front line. We look at the KD itself, 5 eliminations apiece for Jonah, Get High, and Moshi. Osana not needing to do too much this game. He has already done the heavy lifting prior to this against Los.
First blood.
Exactly. I mean, Osana doesn't have that much damage with a mini Uzi, but he's still annoying, I would say. If he can get in and out and then just pull out that time turner to save his hide. But again, 4-0. We seldom see this as a scoreline against Team Falcons, but again, it's Brim United who has been preparing for this moment. They might have gone a longer route, but they know exactly what needs to be done. Limit
First
X7
blood.
will be taken down by Wasana with a max 7, and it is now a 3v4 situation. Fireball Jutsu once again being thrown at all corners of 2 compounds, and Get High with backstab, and On Fire gets the finisher on Get High.
But sadly for On Fire, BRU sets the building on fire, literally. Just barbecues him. Kuroro gets chased down and ran off the game. 5-0 for BRU already. It felt like the grand final just started and BRU are about to close out the first game in a flawless manner.
Alright, and this is just something else. Again, we seldom see this. Not quite sure on what Team Falcons is attempting right now, but Brim United seems a little bit stronger, a little bit faster compared to what we see, how they see them from yesterday up until today. But again, they met up each other. It could have been late. Brim United doesn't have a chance to go in for that marathon. But this time around, they're still fresh, they're still warmed up, especially with the battle that they had earlier. And they're putting up so much of a great fight. Awasana looting up the airdrop, getting that M1887 as well, the Trogon. Now, let's see if he can still use that Trogon going back 1 year when that gun is in meta.
Could be a tough run it back. They need 5 rounds in a row. 5 rounds in a row to tie it up. 6 rounds in a row to win it all. That's going to bring BRU. You got to start somewhere. Starts with this 1 round. Max 7 in hand. We see the revolver on Kiroro's side. His trusty little Deagle. Not a revolver. Either way, AWM, limit X7. This is the 1 round so far that they have slowed it down. For BRU, they can play this waiting game forever. The onus is on Falcons to find an opening. The longer this game drags on, the more scared Falcons might feel, because they are the ones on the clock.
See though, if the clock will run down on them. We've seen this before, and the moment that a hint of a rush will be done from either side, that's where retaliation will be happening. And there we have it. That fireball jutsu will trigger it on fire. Stop from getting that shot on, and Potato will be taken down first. Moshi almost. Musana going in and out, but exploding together with On Fire was Jonah. Now, Get High, the only one remaining at this point, still with the Zane, is a viable player to go into the battle, and he goes in, steamrolling them. And Kiroro, the only one remaining. AWM against a Mag 7 or probably an M1887. Not
Double
a good
kill,
way
double
to
kill,
go. And
triple
there
kill.
you have it. Brim United grabs another point, and the first game in this series.
Not even close. Last
They can slow it down right now just to prevent Wasana from going for a good rush.
in the previous game, it wasn't Wasana that was stepping up. It was actually everyone else. Get High. They passed the torch of the clutch genes across the team. The Falcons now need to not only figure out who is the one that's literally, on a tear. They also need to shut down the game plan. Start with a 1-for-1 trade. Moshi and Potato both on the ground. Wasana having an exchange. Kiroro finds that knock, and that puts Falcons in an advantageous
First
position.
blood.
The side being pulled out by On Fire as well. Kiroro chases down Jonah, gives him a 1-2 punch. This should be Shuriken round for Falcons. And let's Get High once more.
Kill.
Pulls it out of the back. It's him and Kiroro. Get High. Lower in terms of health pool. Kiroro needs to win this, and
kill.
by the skin of his teeth, wins it for Falcons.
And it seems like that the Zane didn't work for the final moment for Get High, but it is the shotgun round, and we know that it doesn't make that much of a difference. They can still pick up an Deagle and a mini Uzi because it costs the same, and as you can see on the cash that they have from above, it doesn't dent that much. But as you can see, because of the additional, it would still be viable that Team Falcons can put in so much of damage because they have helmets as well as armor together with the weapons that they grab for this round.
Already puts himself in a good position. If he finds a peak, he gets a sharp headshot that could easily turn this round in their favor. Moshi's entry points can get guarded. Kororo now sees Moshi. Might have caught a glimpse of Get High too. Flaming Rush out on fire with the dome, protects himself, and now Wasana caught in a rough spot. Kororo springs into the action. Takes him now. Fire though, does get dicked by Moshi from behind. Moshi left unguarded. And I thought Kororo relayed that information. Now that Santino is going to make things a bit more complicated. Moshi relocates instantly. Falcons have lost track of the sniper of BRU. Get High at a 1v1, takes down Limit. Things starting to go south for Falcons. Potato needs to hit his shot with Moshi from behind. Another bait and switch.
blood.
And Falcons collapsing.
Double kill.
And Moshi
Triple kill.
using that Santino to perfection. Just reposition and making sure that he is providing so much backup for his teammates. Has given him a 3 elimination already. 3 on those KDs already. And this is a replay of what happened. Get High is a distraction and Moshi jumps in. Potato
First
goes
blood.
down and then quick
Double kill.
reposition
Triple
coming from
kill.
Moshi and ending it just like that. I mean, pistol rounds could have been taken by Kororo, but the rest of the team of Team Falcons is not putting up so much of a fight. But it's a good thing, though, that they put up a point in their scoreboard already. But how can they work on this time around? Kororo can go for backstab against Wasana, but Wasana managed to protect himself and get High with a slice and dice using that sight.
They are a mixed direction coming in from BRU, and before we can even finish our sentence, it seems like BRU has already made their point pretty clear. Leaving Limit
First
below on 5
blood.
HP. Game, this round pretty much done and dusted. BRU takes the lead
Double
back very,
kill.
very convincingly. Now that economy starts to build up for BRU as they keep all of their guns, I believe. Whereas the Falcons
Yeah.
gonna start from scratch again.
Well, let's see though. But they do have some economy, probably losing out on armors as well as some utilities. But hopefully they can slow the pace down because so much more because of how quick it
First
is
blood.
on how Buridum is taking the rush. That's what's throwing off Team Falcon's position. They have a prime position in terms of split, in terms of position, in terms of how the sniper is set up, and the bait and switch can be pulled in by Team Falcons as well. But Buridum United seems like their tactics, their movement is a little bit stronger. So Fireball Jutsu to clear out one of the glue wall, but Potato has managed to cross over already. Liminix 7 taking an eye on one side as Potato on the higher ground. So prime position, airdrop even secured, and the question is, how will they respond? From the looks of how Buridum United is waiting, they will be waiting for the blue to close in, and then that's when they make that move.
Oh yeah. BRU will slow the game down like they did. I mean, contrary to the previous map, the impact not as significant. So we're not at the match point status yet. Get High makes his first move. It's the Ignis wall. Surely they'll try Get High. That's half his health bar gone. The Santino decoy gets sent out too. Can they distract Falcons enough? Moshi will join Get High. Wasana, the third one to make the move. The glue wall is being laid down very generously, just so that BRU gets to save Passion. Moshi again relocates. Kororo does think Get High, but Wasana is in prime position to pick him back up, so not much is lost. In fact, he drops Fireball right in front of the blue wall to Team Falcons, and Wasana springs into action. On Fire would do exactly the same. They trade 1-for-1 so far. On Fire and Moshi both become victims, but as Jonah comes alive, Potato also gets taken down. The glue wall gets
First
put up,
blood.
and Moshi stands back up to get High back into action, and BRU stifles the assault.
Yeah, full man squad still for Buriram United as Kororo Limit tries to pull away. The distance though can give an opening for Moshi to take those shots, but a shift of the circle is throwing up their tactics, and there goes Limit going down. Now Kororo will be left, but once he peaks, he might be taken down with a BSK from Wasana. Get High will try to put in so much of pressure onto the other side as well, but Moshi would say goodbye. Now it's only a few seconds remaining, no opening for Wasana to rush in, but no, he still managed to cross over. 2 rushes in, and another point being grabbed by the Blue Blood team Buriram United.
Starting to ramp up too. That move from Falcons, I can understand the rationale behind Falcons taking that fight, and they almost made it work. If not for BRU again winning crucial gunfights with the tiniest of difference in margins. That has been the big difference maker on this map, where BRU by a hair's breadth wins out crucial trades, health bar differences. The most minuscule of numbers now matter a lot more than they usually do. I think this wall thrown out again. Glass panel reveals where BRU are at. Fireball juice to force them out. Get High response with its own on fire. Takes matters into his own hand, and this time with the M1887 takes out Wasana to give him a good start. But Get High with a sight in his hand takes out on fire. Slices Potato as Limit takes out Jonah, but the damage has been done by BRU, and Get High is the one that takes initiative again.
Yeah, Get High is a game changer once again, and there goes the finishing move, the finisher from Buriram United Esports. And Get High, I think with the Sane plus the Scythe makes him a little bit more deadlier despite of Wasana going down. So not quite sure what can still be done by Team Falcons at this point. It seems like every move they make, they're always being put on a checkmate. So there's not so much of leeway being given for Team Falcons.
Very unfortunate predicament again for Team Falcons. Once more, by the slightest of margins, they make the best possible chess move in their position, but it feels like you're up against Stockfish all the time. In this case, it's BRU. That their AI prediction mindset. Somehow Moshi catches Potato with his back turn. And this round is already off to a horrible start, and it now has ended for sure. Unless Falcons can come up with a miracle, but so far we haven't seen that from Kororo or Limit.
Yeah, Kororo is a miracle maker from the previous match when they played, but Limit right now can go in for finisher, but it is Kororo who lands that hit. He needs to be picked up though, but Limit doesn't want to go in the open.
Double
Jonah
kill.
has been spotted because of the blue wall.
kill.
Now M590 in hand. Jonah brings it to match point.
It's pretty fair to say that BRU have snapped Falcons in half. This is surely one way to break a team. Oh my goodness. And it's the same story. The Falcons have no idea where Moshi is. This Santino needs to leave BRU. They're doing too
That's
much
one
work
thing,
with it.
Double kill.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of snipers has been using Santino, but not in this manner as Moshi is using it. How fast is this? He is in triggering that reposition. Probably because he's just doing so, the rest of the team's doing so much more as well, that we are having some time to focus on Moshi's position. But Get High will be taken down. Wasana brings down On Fire for a trade,
blood.
but we still have no sights of Moshi. Finally, we will see Moshi right now, and there goes the shape splitter once again being let go. On Fire, a few seconds remaining. Potato could have go in for a pickup. Was Wasana is a little bit busy, and Kororo will be taken down.
This is it's very fair to say that BRU are going to be up 2-0 in this grand finals at this point. Potato on the rescue mission. Wasana barely catches it, and Moshi snipes him out of the air.
Double kill.
No chance of
Double
recovery
kill.
at all. BRU up 2-0 now. This grand finals is going down a trajectory of the boys in blue.
Definitely, I mean, it looks like it. Green is slowly fading away. And Buriram United right now looks like they are a lot stronger And this is what we're asking for Brim United. I mean, like, doesn't have to be starting strong in any tournament as long as they can finish it. They are monitoring the heart rate of the players, and one player that is really calm and collected is not only Kiroro but also Limited 7.
Kalahari is going to be the map. Once more, Falcons need to look for a strong start, and whoa, Limit pretty sharp on those shurikens. Jonah back up, double Ignis wall coming right through. Jonah somehow dips down to the bottom. Falcons off to a great start, but BRU quickly equalizes the state of the game and takes over in terms of numbers, and Limit just arrived to the scene. Takes out Moji,
Triple
but
kill.
unfortunately forgot that Wasana is still around. A 3-piece for this young gun. And right off the bat, BRU wins the first round again.
Yeah, that could have been taken differently, but that is a risk though. If your sniper who doesn't even have a sniper takes that distance, and he will be late in the party. If he could have been there with the group, he could have finished off those knockdowns and probably change the result of that game number 1. But it's just game number 1 though. On a shuriken round, and Limited 7 will need. Oh, it's Pina who will be part of the mix right now. So, yep, let's see if this is a game changer for them. 3 against 2 on the second floor.
Oh, yes. See, this is maybe a necessary swap. Pina does end up going down. Either way, already an opening one for the side of BRU. Jonah with the pop onto Limit.
First
And this
blood.
round has already spiraled out of control.
Definitely, it is spiraling out of control right now. Even Kiroro factor will not be a factor anymore, especially if they don't land those shots. And what he needs to do is keep that distance. But unfortunately, On Fire couldn't regroup with him because of what Wasana is doing, connected to get high. But there you have it. Brina United, Jonah, and Moshi has been knocked down. Kiroro will need to be picked up, and On Fire tries to run away, but it doesn't work against the duo of the frontliners in Brim United.
Good attempt from Falcons. Again, for Pina having to sit in such an important game. Over Potato, who has been playing the entire tournament up till the previous game. Pressure is on him, but maybe Pina is also, you can look at it from another perspective, where he is the fresh mind, not under the pressure that Potato is already under. Maybe that's the reset that Falcons are hoping to get out of him. He's the one that could rally the rest of Team Falcons. But you got to start by winning one round first, and BRU have been solid so far on Kalahari and throughout the finals.
Let's see though if they will be able to take one down. On Fire has been taken down. Limited 7 responded to get high, but the pickup though is still viable for Brim United side, and Pina will be taken down. That was speed run at this point in Council Hall, and it again we're back to the question: is anything else? Is there anything else that of Team Falcons do against Brim United, because they've already taken out their best pick in terms of active skill? It's just more of a positioning, and there was a chance that Jonah could have been taken out early, but none of Team Falcons managed to turn that corner and go against him on that 1v2, so it could have ended differently from that point.
I don't know what they could have done differently. They definitely adjusted the draft, right? We both liked what they brought to this. Then when we look beyond the draft, it really comes down to the macro and the micros. So far, BRU have been winning on the gunfight. Like, again On Fire, back turn. Not able to keep track of where BRU are. And a lot of times when they are on the reactive side, that's where things start to fall apart. But thankfully, Kiroro got his comrades covered this time. Limit getting taken down by Moshi from afar does ease the burden on BRU a little bit. Jonah behind the firewall. Pina trying to split for him, but Moshi found out by Kiroro, and at least for Falcons, they get one round done right.
All right, so that is Pina just going going berserk and going back and forth using that Ignis. But I guess it's a good play as well. You want to bait your opponent to be burnt by that Flame Mirage and then have a give time for Kuroro to focus on his aim. And that worked. That worked. That brought them 1 point. And as you can see as well, in terms of weaponry, we're seeing a Groza, we're seeing AC-80, AWM for Liminix 7, rather. And that is a good response to Moshi right now. And Moshi will be taking this peak this second floor, and the rest of the teams might
First
not
blood.
see him in that position.
Eliminating Jonah is already bringing start for Falcons to take out the hit commander. Wasana now gets cornered on fire. But the support would take him down. Moshi just flip limit off screen though. The Raphael bleed out effect is gonna nail Moshi with that elimination, and he's the last man alive. Kuroro needs to be rescued. Unfortunately, ends up bleeding out. It's Moshi 1 against 2. Wasana waiting to be rescued, but Moshi doesn't have time to do so. And double up from Falcons ensures that this round doesn't slip out of control. They are slowly but surely crawling back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, crawling back, and it's on fire on that M590 run. I know the reload speed has been reduced at this point, but they is still viable if you can land those hits. It might not be a headshot, it's not about to be an
Double
instant
kill.
knockdown, but if you land those shots, reduce the HP, put chip damage against the enemies, it will force them to hide out in one corner, and that's what prompted them to go for a double hit with Pina.
And then, the last time we saw this not long ago, the BRU and lost. Jonah has pretty good ideas on reading where the enemy sniper is going to go. And this time the approach is slightly different. Jonah with the Deagle on the low ground, relying on Get High and Moshi to play long range, and that opens up space for Limit to sneak onto the high ground. This different approach could be in favor of Falcons. As Wasana is forced to relocate already, but he can't move too far away. That glue wall actually goes down, so ends up causing that the utility from BRU to miss.
Now let's see though if those misses can be taken down as an advantage by Team Falcons. Jonah right now in a battle on a 1v1 on the M590. Moshi will try to help out. Limit almost being taken down. And there goes Glue Wall being taken out, followed up with a shot using an AWM, but Pina will try to follow through, but Moshi is just a little bit too quick. On fire, the only one remaining, and there's not so much that he can do, especially on the other side. Moshi now will try to take shots, and there you go, the hit onto Moshi.
Double
A
kill.
little bit of chip damage being received by On Fire, but position-wise, he managed to relocate that quickly. And pickup has been done, bringing it to a 2v2. Wasana, though, has a clear view as to where they're coming from.
And yes, the Rebel Rush and the support of the Electrotherapy coming back up a little bit. Kuroro pops in. That is the opening for Team Falcons to take advantage of. Get High. That's the position to try and flush this out. 1v2, not
kill.
possible. A 3-round back-to-back for Team Falcons. This round could have gone insanely poorly when Moshi got that knocked and walked away thanks to the Electrotherapy, but thankfully Falcons were able to hold the fort long enough to bring it to a 2v2.
Again, putting pressure on Moshi changed the pace of the game, and despite of 2 knockdowns already, because Moshi is still preoccupied and healing up, there's not so much of info being relayed, so they can recover that quickly. And I would say that counts as a clutch right there from the scene, despite of a 2v1 situation. Now, as we go in onto this fight, Moshi right now is just waiting for Kuroro. Flame Mirage was late, but I guess it does its job. Wasana right now will try to go in for a rush against On Fire, but Wasana is the one who's going down for the M87 of Pina.
First
To the start of the
blood.
recovery, we needed a fresh set of eyes on the side of Falcons, and Pina is bringing that impact, allowing On Fire and Kuroro to play a bit more freely for sure. Jonah and Moshi now left on the rope. Moshi desperately trying to find a couple of avenues, but On Fire has already spotted him, and Limit will
Double
relay,
kill.
convert that into the 4th round for Falcons. Now they are in control.
Yeah, this time around, Team Falcons going for a speed run. They're getting in the rhythm of how to deny Burim United of any points. Now, we are going into where Brim United can take advantage of the position of Limit X7, especially if he gets into one of the platforms right there. But you know how it is. Some barricades can stop you from from getting shot. So we'll have to find out which side they will be heading. Limit will be going into the left-hand side together with Pina and On Fire in the front line. And well, a trio from Burim United will be focusing in on isolating Kiroro, but I don't think Kiroro will fall for that trap. They still have a Limit in there, an oversight, but doesn't have an angle to take. So Wasana surprisingly pulls away from that engagement, leaving Kiroro play with Get High.
Get High gladly holds his ground. Now Wasana is back, takes down the blue wall with the stolen Valiant dash. It's a utility being committed, but either way, Kiroro going down. Pina now called to rescue his teammate
First blood.
from Moshi. Bleeds out on fire from afar. Kiroro does get retrieved. The BRU have done substantial damage. Pina now has to somehow kill his teammates out of this, but it's not possible. Get High and Moshi both delivers on their front Limit with a shot onto Wasana, but it's still a 1v3.
Double
The
kill.
Limit probably stands no chance in this situation. BRU needed to put a bandage over the wound, and they've done more than just that. They've cauterized it and equalized the score. It's 4-4.
Yeah, I mean, because of the numbers, that trick didn't work. But if it was a 1v2, he could easily go for a headshot and then just reposition with that shape splitter and then fire on the other guy. But they just have both side cover. The one that where he's coming from as where the decoy will be going, and there's still no chance of surviving that. Now let's see though. Team Falcons would need to go in a little bit stronger this time, but On Fire taking the lead together with Pina and Flame Mirage right now can block the visibility for Wasana, and this guy is the first thing. This player, this Wasana, should be the first guy that you take down. Just disrupt their movement, but no, Moshi says otherwise. On Fire brings him down, and it's now a 2v3.
That is just unlucky. Or maybe it's just smart positioning for Moshi again, trying to catch the intervention. It was looming from
Double
behind,
kill.
and Moshi pushed that to a stop, and that completely destroys the plans of Team Falcons. Limit once more left to his own devices. I get a lucky shot onto Moshi, but still the rest of BRU are on his tail. And match point, championship point in sight for BRU, and Limit is going to be left to steal in this moment as they have to start planning for what to do in round number 10.
Let's see. There's not someone that he can do right now. Throws in hand, damage being dealt with, and they're just playing around with their food. But finally, a finisher from Burim United to bring themselves to match point. Only one remains. One game to win. And this will end the run for Team Falcons. And Burim United, it seems like, despite of how much effort they put in to deny them of their comfort pick or their best pick in the active skill, the gameplay and strategy, they have a backup plan for that.
Oh yeah. We saw how fast BRU adapt to it, right? It took them 4 rounds, but once they adapt to it, they were able to shut down Falcons' ideas immediately. One person that you can rely on this time on Falcons is probably Pina. That's your best bet. Firewall Flame Mirage passes through. Wasana will be forced back, but it's a lucky supply crate right in front of him, so he gets to be ready. The clay bomb being sent out too On Fire is going to be the recipient of that. Barely just missing the mark. Get High and Jonah still goes in for the rush, and On Fire needs to back up right now. He cannot go down.
Yeah, not so much of backup can be done. There's no angle to take, but he did get away. Get High now. M1887 in hand, pulls away, still connected though to the other side. And Get High is not going down that easily in spite of the shots from M590, and they're having a spawn
blood.
from Jonah. And that's one man down already. Wasana a little bit too deep against Limit, but it quickly repositions to join Kiroro. And Pina can be the gatekeeper against Wasana, but Wasana's already recovering, especially as he looted up that airdrop.
Yeah, that airdrop actually being the lifesaver of Wasana. In a normal situation, when if that airdrop is absent, it could have been an easy trade for Falcons. But that's the situation they had to work with. We said that On Fire should not go down. And BRU, they put the pressure, they doubled up on him and finally forced him out into the open before taking him down. Kororo now forced to make a desperate move. Alongside the rest of Falcons, Moshi again finds the timing. Coup de grace
Double
delivered,
kill.
signed, and still